Hey everyone, it is the Charming Giraffe, and today we are going to do a video on painting with cheaper supplies. All of this I got at Walmart for under $15. We got some craft sticks. I think these were like 88 cents. These each were $2. These little plaques that are owl shaped. The glue was like $1.50 a bottle, and then I've got 5 of these little apple barrel paints. They're 2 ounces, and they are 50 cents each, or at least they were at my store. The thing I think that was most expensive were these cups. Obviously, if you have cups at the house, old ones from, sometimes you'll like get one at a restaurant, like they'll give you like a free plastic cup, or just ones you don't use anymore. You can use those versus spending like $3 on these. I got these because I figured I could use them over, because they come with little lids, so it wasn't just for the video. I could actually mix up some small quantities of paint of special colors that I may not use on every video or very often and save them, so that's why I went ahead and bought those. I'm going to get prepared, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how I mix my paint and do the painting, so we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. The next thing we'll do here is just mix up the paint, because the mixing ratio is a little bit different than the other paints that you've seen me use. So we'll get started on that. I'll go through exactly what I'm doing on these on the first one, and then I'll speed up the rest so you don't have to watch me do the same thing 5 more times. So you don't have to watch me do the same thing 5 more times. Sorry about that. So I just put a little bit of paint in the cup. Actually, let me put a little bit more. And this will start off as a 50-50 ratio, since you really won't be able to see exactly how much I'm putting in here. And of course, if I make too much, that's fine, because we have lids and I can use them later. And this is just regular Elmer's school glue. Any glue will work. There's no rules to that, at least to my knowledge. Any like craft glue. I just picked the one that seemed to be the cheapest. There was several options of Elmer's glue, which I don't remember being as a kid, like when I was a kid, that there was that many options. So I kept looking at the prices and the ounces until I found the one that I thought would work. The apple barrel paint, or the cheaper paints, aren't as thick as some of the others, so that's why you have to adjust your consistency. I still think this is a tad thick for my liking, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water. This is just tap water I put in a water bottle for easy transport, so nothing special there. And then you just mix it until you get the consistency you want. And they've added too much water, so I'll fix that. As far as consistency goes, it's hard to explain. You just want it to run, I guess. You want it to be a little thin, a little thick. Here, let me see what all you can see, because I'm not actually sure. As you're stirring, you'll want to make sure you scrape the sides and the bottom. I always typically put the paint in first. Not really sure why. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's see, can you actually see anything? I'm sorry guys, I'm probably not going to explain this very well, but I would definitely just say experiment, because different consistencies, regardless of your medium, is going to give you different results. So there's like a sweet spot that you have to kind of just find throughout what paint you're using and what mediums you're using to get the results that you want. If you have it too thick, it will there's pros to it. Like, I actually sometimes think like I should have mixed this thicker than this, because it won't blend as much. So if you're looking for like stark lines or less blending, that's a good way to do it. If you get it too thin, I think that's the bigger issue, because then your paints will all just muddy whenever you go to do your pour. So too thin is definitely not a desired texture, I guess is the best word there. So I definitely say, if you're concerned, maybe start on the thicker side and then water down. I may try to do a secondary video to this, just showing the differences, like with different consistencies, just so you can see the results, because without really seeing it, it's hard to explain. But we'll go ahead and finish mixing up these last few colors here. You'll see it, I will just speed up the video. So here we go. Alright, we are back. We've got all of our paint mixed up. Real quick, I'm just going to run through the colors with you. So this is a cobalt blue from Apple Barrel, and the colors you're seeing, everything's a little darker. This looks yellow, but it's an orange color. It's called apricot. Let me see if I bring you in. No. The color still isn't true on the camera. It's definitely more orange than what you see, because you see pretty much yellow. Then we have the Laguna from Apple Barrel. Blue cotton. And white, just regular white. Those are the colors we're working with today. I did want to give a shout out. This video is a viewer request. That's the words I'm looking for. From a viewer named Jocelyn. So I do want to thank you for your request. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I grabbed a few of the lids just to set the plaques on, just so they're not laying straight onto the table I have here. The main reason for that is so they don't stick. No matter what medium you use, it kind of works as an adhesive, but we're actually using glue. So if the glue gets on the back and we set it down, it's going to stick to it. So hopefully this will help prevent part of that. Just seeing how we would be able to do this. That's what we'll do. I'm going to work with this one first, and then we'll scooch it to the side and work with the big one. I think we're going to do two different techniques here for these. I want to try a tree ring pour. I know I've used glue as a medium on tree ring pours in the past. I want to try it on this one. And let me see if I can get this off real fast, because I don't want it to get messy. I can put it back on once it dries. I just don't want glue and paint to get all over it. So I'll do this on both of them real quick, and then we'll come back to pour our cups. Okay, we are back. This one was actually stapled on, so I just taped it down so it doesn't get in the way. So for the first one, we're going to do a tree ring pour. So I'm just going to layer these paints into a cup. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to kind of alternate between like darker and lighter colors. They are kind of all light with the exception of the cobalt blue. But that's kind of the plan here. And I definitely won't need all the paint that I'm about to pour in this cup, but I'm going to give you guys the full effect here. We may actually go grab a canvas to use some of the paints with, since we will have plenty. Two more. Alright, yeah, these are like 5-ounce cups, so this is enough to make many more than this tiny little owl. Here's our cup, and I'm going to show you the side of the cup, or attempt to. It looks pretty cool with it layered in there like that. Trying to get it to focus. There it goes. So yeah. Well, we'll get started with the tree ring pour. Try to make sure you stop moving. Alright, here we go. Cobalt blue has mixed with the apricot and made some not so pleasing colors to the eyes. I mean, kind of like a brown color, so we'll see how this goes. And I don't think I've ever poured on like a plaque like this before. Ooh, got some greens coming out of it. Really pretty. That sounded like thunder outside. I don't think it was though. Okay, let's get some, just like we do on the canvas, to help it move along. It's just my neighbors making noise. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it or not. Alright. That looks pretty cool. We definitely got some color movement. Because there's no light green. There's no... there's those 5 colors you see. And that we got all these different shades of green in here. And very little orange. So yeah. And we made a mess there. Ooh, we're still dripping. Alright, here's what we're probably going to end up doing here, guys. Let me grab this. And that will dry right there like that. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to pour more into this cup, and we'll do a dirty flip cup onto the next plaque. Let's try to make sure we get some orange in here, because I definitely want that to come through. It may be thicker, I think, from what I've noticed, even in the paints I traditionally use here, is if your paint is thicker, it may just sink to the bottom. And obviously you guys just watched me mix this. Stirring can help aerate the paint and create bubbles, air bubbles in the paint, so that you get cells. I prefer keeping mine in the bottles you normally see me use, because then I can just shake it and I know that it gets tons of air from doing that. So the stirring helps, And you're definitely seeing some cells come up there. But I think, personally, shaking is the way to go. I did not bring gloves because I didn't buy any. So I didn't want to use them. Since this was a cheaper material pour. This is definitely too much paint, just FYI. We are going to see lots of drippage. Let me set this here for a second. And I'm going to put lids on all of these real quick just so I don't knock them over. And then we'll come back to pull the cup off of that flip cup. So we'll be right back. Alright, we are back. You're upside down, so here I'll turn around. I'll walk around so we're not upside down. And it's highly potential that we're going to drip on this owl. I'm okay with that. I'm just letting you know. Just a warning. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. And a lot of this paint will fall off because there is way, way, way too much. So, warning there. It looks really cool. I know you can just see it from the side, like sideways, since I'm tilting it still. Just trying to get all the angles covered here. Yeah. Yep, we dripped on the other guy, but it's okay. There's no way for me to, like, I guess I could have put a pin in it, but I don't know. I was just afraid the pen would go through it, so I didn't put any pins in it. Now just the little owl feet. That's all we have left here. Alright, I think that's good. I'll probably have to baby it a little just to make sure that all the little angles don't get like filled with paint, like the little feet and everything. But yeah, here's what we've got. Yeah, it's really pretty. Okay, and just one little drip on the other guy. Not bad. I'm gonna move those out of the way. And because I can't dig a lid out because my hands are messy, we'll set them on this to dry. And I may have bumped you with my head, I apologize. Okay, he's not exactly level because of that string. But let me go wash my hands real fast and then we'll come in and do close-ups. And I have something else to show you. So we'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and we have lots of cells peeking through on this one, on this flip cup. Let me bring you down for a close-up. We probably will start over here just because of how cool it's starting to turn out. I'm really loving these cells through the middle here. Kind of like stars in a galaxy or something. We'll start at the little feet. Sorry, you do have a shadow and a glare on you. We've got that apricot coming through, and that is closer to true to color. It's still a little bit brighter than real life, but it's definitely better than what the yellow you were seeing at the beginning. And I think it also got darker because of it blending with the different colors. And then a lot of just white, gray tones here from the white and I think the blues mixing. And there's no black in this, so we didn't get that. And then that almost looks purple up there in that ear. And then over here, it definitely kind of looks like some tree ring or geode lines. Pretty stark contrast with that cobalt blue and that Laguna color. So there's the second one we did. Over here is the first one. That was the tree ring. Oh, sorry guys. And we got the little drip, but that's okay. And we'll start at his little feet. And these tree ring lines are pretty cool. And then we got some little tiny cells coming through. Look at that. I don't know. I really like it. Here's the other wing. We'll go up to his ears. And that ear looks really cool with all the contrast between those different colors, the blues and the apricot color that kind of turned green from it blending together. Let me put you back real fast. I did want to show you, oops, sorry. I did want to show you a few that I had done when I first started pouring. This would have been close to a year ago, actually, just over a year ago. I think, I don't remember the order I poured these in, but they're all on my Instagram because I actually went back. I went and looked to see when the first time I purchased Floetrol was, and then looked at all of the paintings that came prior to that because I know I used glue before I started purchasing Floetrol. Here, we'll start with this one. This one has a lot of lines, and I could not tell you. These were probably flip cups, but don't hold me to it. And again, the colors are slightly off. All of this that looks yellow is really a bright orange. And then this that looks bright orange is like a darker orange, like a red orange. But yeah, really pretty. This one had less cells than this one. This one I really like because it has all these cells. I remember pouring, when I first started pouring, I wasn't getting cells. And I remember pouring this and going, dude, look at all these cells. It's quite an accomplishment to get them for the first time, or at least a decent picture of them. So, and then I have this one that I did with glue as well. Once again, I don't remember the technique I had used. It's a bigger one. Those were 8x10s. This is a 12x12. And this has, and I know for sure that the oranges that you just saw were with apple barrel paint. Pretty sure it was apple barrel paint here too, but I can't tell you honestly for 100%. But I know for sure that those oranges were, because that was a request as well. So I had to go buy orange, so I remember. And then this was a tree ring pour. I think this ended up being kind of the middle of the pour. So this would have been like the first things that came out of the cup. Can't really tell you why there's all this black here unless I had black down on the canvas first, but I do remember because I was like, as I was pouring it, I was making all these like designs, and then it stretched out and it looked really cool, kind of like a tornado or something. So this is another 12x12. So those are just a few of the early pours from the Charming Giraffe, using the same materials that we used here today, just slightly different designs. So I do want to thank Jocelyn again for recommending this video, or for requesting this video. I did enjoy doing it for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. And of course, if you have any suggestions that you want me to try, definitely leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to help show you those techniques or different things that you want to see. I look forward to that. And if you have any questions, definitely also leave those in the comments. I will be happy to help answer any questions that I can help with. I do want to thank you for watching. Have a great day, and do what makes you happy.